Доброго вечора, ми з України.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to Ushanka Show, the place where we travel back in time to explore everyday life in the Soviet Union. If you're new to my channel, my name is Sergei Sputnikov, and back in 1971 I was born in the USSR. Меня зовут Сергей Спутников, и я родился в Советском Союзе. In today's video, I'll tell you some very interesting information about what could happen if someone wins a lottery in the Soviet Union. If you're interested in the topic of gambling and lotteries in the Soviet Union, I already made several videos on that topic, but unfortunately YouTube completely ignores that, and they didn't gather enough steam, so they just buried somewhere deep in Ushanka Show channel with hardly 2,000 views per video. So I'll post the links below this video if you missed it somehow and want to explore more. But in today's video, we're going to talk about so-called денежно-вещевая лотерея. So that's a cash and merchandise lottery, which was quite popular in the Soviet Union. And I mean popular, like people were forced to purchase lottery tickets. I already mentioned in my video that my father brought 2 lottery tickets every time he got paid at work. So the cost of the lottery ticket was 50 kopecks, and he was forced to buy for 1 ruble at least 2 lottery tickets, those cash and merchandise lottery. As you may guess, cash and merchandise lottery meant that you can win some cash prizes, I believe up to 5,000 rubles, and you can win some goods, which the most expensive and the most desirable was Volga car, which retail cost was 15,000 rubles. As well, it could be radios, tents, flashlights, and a lot of other goods. Some of them were deficit that you won't be able to just buy at the regular store. My family never had any luck with lotteries. I mean, we won a couple of times 1 ruble prize, which is the smallest cash prize. But otherwise, we never won anything decent to remember, a refrigerator or radio receiver, and I'm not talking about motorcycle or a car. But if you happen to be one of those lucky comrades and you won a car, you had 2 options. You can get a car, or you could cash out the lottery ticket and get the value of the car. So in case of Volga, you'll get 15,000 rubles cash. Or if you won something like Zhiguli Vaz, there'll be 9,000 rubles. And you need to remember, in Soviet Union, we didn't have a sales tax. So like here, sometimes people win a car in casino, but they can't afford to pay sales tax if it's some expensive Mercedes or Lamborghini. In Soviet Russia, you didn't have to pay that. You could get a car, and it's pretty much your expenses done there. Today's story is based on a newspaper article published sometimes in the middle of 80s, and it's called The Journey of a Winning Lottery Ticket, Билет путешественник. The story in this article reminded me of the old movie from 1993 called 20 Bucks. It's kind of like that, but with a different twist. So here we go. The Journey of a Winning Lottery Ticket. Mrs. K, who lives in Kiev, played a cash and merchandise lottery, so денежно-вещевая лотерея, and won a Volga car, which I told you retail price was 15,000 rubles, a lot of money. So this lucky lady went to the local branch of Sberkassa, so that's a Soviet savings bank, and I also have a video on this topic. I'll place link below this video. So she went to the local Sberkassa, where the clerks, last name Dorfman and Reichman, congratulated the lucky winner and paid her the cash value of her car instantly. So lady, instead of a car, she decided, I'll take cash, and she went to the savings bank and cashed it out instantly. And here we need to pause for some comments. So reading this article, anyone from the Soviet Union, just by reading last names, Dorfman and Reichman, would understand that those 2 persons, you can't tell here the male or female, that clerks that work at Sberkassa, they were Jewish people. Because the only people who had last name ended with man, they'll be Jewish people. So here I kind of see it's a little anti-Semitic tone going on, because look, this naive lady went to cash out, and these Jews right away jumped on opportunity to make extra money. So Dorfman and Reichman So this is anti-Semitic little hint going on. And once again, I have videos about Jewish people in Soviet Union. Links will be also below this video. And I also need to say a couple of words about this lucky Mrs. K who won a car. Just like my mom, she was very naive and she didn't have good friends, because usually people knew that if you won a car, there was several ways to make more money than the face value of that ticket, of that car. And we'll see later in the story. But no one told her, so she just happily ran to the local Sberkassa to sell her ticket and cash out. So let's see what happened next. This article says, most of our readers won't notice any criminal activity in such occurrence. In reality, Dorfman and Reichman abused their job position. They used the word «злоупотребление служебного положения». So that was quite often this abuse of your job position. So you take advantage of the place of your work to have some gain. Usually, you gain some stuff or you gain some money or bribes. So they abused their job position and ignored the rules of accepting the winning lottery tickets. And my guess, there will be some special form when the government, Sberkassa, purchases the winning ticket. But what they did, and going back to the article, they simply gave the lady money using Sberkassa cash. As you remember, and I told that many times, we did not use checks in the Soviet Union. We were basically cash society. Like my parents always got salary in cash. So they gave the lady the money and then instantly resold the lottery ticket to a person with the last name Oganisyan from Yerevan, which is Soviet Armenia. And once again, Oganisyan, when the last name ends with Yan, it pretty much was obvious that person is Armenian. So already was system in place that they right away called this Oganisyan guy and told him, hey, we got a ticket. And so the guy right away came and bought it from them. It's kind of like what happened in American banks sometimes. I know there's people, they have money collectors like friends, and if some person brings some old American dollars, those old silver certificates or something like that, they will buy it and then will call the collector guy and sell him, I don't know, for profit or not. But this is also happening in the United States. But here we're talking about purchasing a lottery ticket and reselling for profit. So my guess, they maybe made 5,000 rubles on the top. So they purchased this winning ticket for 15,000 rubles and resold it right away for 20,000 rubles to this comrade Oganisyan from Armenia. And I mentioned before that we had a lot of jokes about people from the Soviet South that they were rich. And once again, video link below this video. So this comrade Oganisyan with his buddy Muradyan, also Armenian, they took that winning ticket and they flew to Ashgabat, which is the capital of Turkmenistan. At that time was Soviet Socialist Republic of Turkmenistan, of course. In Ashgabat, they resold that lottery ticket for more than 5 times than the price of brand new Volga. So 15,000 times 5, it's 75,000. So my guess, for 80,000 rubles. So they resold that winning ticket that 2 clerks purchased for 15,000, added some of their money, resold it, and these 2 guys flew with the ticket to Ashgabat and resold again for 80,000 rubles. My parents both had to work around 20 years to have a combined income of 80,000 rubles. And this guy in Ashgabat paid 80,000 rubles for a lottery ticket in order to get a Volga car that had a retail price of 15,000 rubles. This is crazy. Unfortunately, the article doesn't specify how the people got caught, but they did get caught. And as a result, those 2 clerks and Sberkassa, Dorfman got 5 years in prison. So I guess she was the main person running that scheme at the local savings bank department. Her friend Reichman got 3.5 years in prison. Those 2 Armenian traveling guys got 2.5 years each. And it says other participants of this speculation will be punished as well. So there's an interesting journey of the winning lottery ticket. It started in Kiev, Ukraine, Soviet Ukraine, $15,000 sale, ruble sale in Sberkassa, resale for $20,000, flight to Ashgabat, resale for $80,000. This is how desperate some people were to buy a brand new car. And I need to remind you that speculation was a serious crime in the Soviet Union. So if you purchase an item in one place, take it to a different place and resell it for profit, it was a crime. As you see, just for doing this, buying a winning lottery ticket and reselling it, person got 5 years in prison. So quite serious crime. And this is what was a big deal about fighting against spekulanti и спекуляция. So people who trying to make profit by reselling goods. That was a criminal activity back in the Soviet days. And if you happen to be interested in collecting any of those lottery tickets, I discovered that Etsy.com has quite a few of those, and they're pretty reasonable, about $2 per ticket. And of course, if I knew back in the 80s when my dad was bringing those lottery tickets and we never won and threw them away, if I would just collect them, now I could probably sell them for a tidy speculaция profit. But, and I never would occur to my mind that in the future, distant future, people will be interested in purchasing those silly Soviet lottery tickets. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, maybe learned something new. As always, don't forget to like it, share with your friends, and we'll talk to you soon. До свидания. Goodbye.
Sergey wrote a book based on diaries he made when he was first in the United States. And as I understand, this is just volume 1, right?
That's correct.
He's going to have multiple volumes coming out. Well, I said, since Sergey is kind enough to come up and speak with us, I bought the book. I said, I might as well read this. I read this in one sitting, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I just couldn't put it down. It was so fascinating because your writing is very compelling, for one, and his story is very interesting for two. It's really interesting. We've lived here our whole lives. We don't have that perspective. It's just so interesting to hear someone else's perspective about what we take for granted. So I hope you really tune in and listen to what he has to say. It's a very interesting, very informed perspective. Sergey is not a historian. He's an electrical engineer by trade, but I find that he has a depth of understanding on history, economics, culture. So just a very observant fellow and a great storyteller. So
Потому что если дороги будут, то по ним неприятель проедет и прямо в сердце России попадет.
Я с ними согласен абсолютно.